Hey, everybody, this is George, and welcome back to another episode. So, it's been interesting. So, 2023, the market has not crashed the way that many predicted. This is super important as many of you are looking at do I enter into the market for sellers? Should I be looking at making a move? And I'll tell you, one of the biggest things that you need to consider as you're navigating this market is really kind of what are your next steps? What are you wanting to do as a buyer? Really taking a look and really dialing down. What do I want with my move up home? Where do I want to go? What does it need to have? What's it going to have over the next 5 years? This is a super important time. There's a lot of flexibility with sellers. Rates have been coming back down. And well, let's just kind of delve into a little bit about our market. So when we take a look at just what's been happening over the last 7 days, you can see that we've got 641 homes that have come on market. Super cool. But look at this, 1,045 have gone off market. We are still seeing, like the trend back in October, we are still seeing more homes coming off market than coming on market, because then as we move over to our next slide, let's go to this one, you can see that our inventory has actually been coming down, ka-chink, 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 and it's getting lower and lower as we're drawing down that inventory. Now, part of this is seasonal normal. Our spring market, we should start to see some pretty good numbers. As an example, we saw some numbers, in the 8,000 homes as far as total units available, and we're seeing, a good number of homes going pending. However, remember, just back in October, we were looking at something closer to about, say, 13,000 homes. Now, we are going to start bumping back up again. Totally normal, completely expected as to our seasonal normal as we head into our spring market. Now, you might remember, we've been saying all along that interest rates are predicted to come into the mid fives. We are just little by little, we're bringing that back down, which is super cool. Let me back up one here. We're at 6.33. Rates actually came down just since I've done the screenshot into almost just the 6%. It's like 6.125. It's a little bit lower than that right now. And that is a trend that is beginning to happen more and more. So as we take a look at where we're trending, there's been a lot of question about, hey, George, are mortgage rates going to keep coming down? And it's really interesting because when we take a look at this quote, it says, while mortgage rates have resumed their decline, the market remains hypersensitive to rate movements, okay, with purchase demand experiencing large swings relative to small changes in rate. Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt, we are seeing that change. Buyers are super sensitive. They come in, they come out, and depending on where we're at in rate, because it amounts to hundreds of dollars each and every month. Now, people are starting to get the trend here. We're seeing and having a lot more conversations with sellers. Heck, we had 8 conversations with sellers alone today talking about plans, goals, what do they want to do? What's going to go on with the market? What should we expect? And I said, that's a great question. And some people have concerns. Let's pop over to our chart here about inventory and where we're going. They're like, hey, George, is this really going to, be a problem for us? And the answer to this is going to be no, it's not. Why? Because as we take a look at our chart here, you can see, June, July, August, we had our numbers up here in 11, 13, 13,000, and then we started dropping back down. But also note that when we take a look at months of inventory, even though last year we were just like 2 weeks, right? Whereas now we're actually at like 2 months, 2.3 months, and that's going to stay pretty consistent. Are we anticipating a lot of inventory coming on market? No, we're anticipating that our inventory is going to stay relatively low, which is going to help with price support. And that is going to be consistent with what we have seen. So as you can see here, let me get myself out of there. When we go even as far back as 2012, and you can see the light green is homes available, and the dark green are homes that have sold, okay? And the blue line is new listings coming on market, which is normal spring, summer markets. And then the red line, that is pended. And then I drew this red line here across the solds to give you a clear understanding. This is where we're at today. Well, technically, January 1 into December, our numbers actually have improved even then since this. But to give you a very consistent message here that really, at the end of the day, we're doing very well. In fact, we are economically even some of the best financially stable. Oh, sure. Okay. So we have Amazon doing a massive layoff, and that's world Amazon, not just here, but it's all over the place. And for my Amazon clients and friends and whatnot, hey, if you need if you get the pink slip, let us know. We've been helping people relocate into other positions. So keep that in mind. You're not out there alone, and we got your back. So just keep that in mind. So when we take a look at our next slide here, it's going to be super important because we're going to talk about foreclosures. And the reason we mention foreclosures, and this is super important, you can see back here in 2012 to remain consistent, we come all the way down. You can see it's almost negligible, right? And when we come over here, again, 2012, excuse me, had basically 1,118 homes. And then at the end of the year, we had 39. We had 39 foreclosures. And that's just a really big deal. And a lot of folks are out there saying there's a shadow inventory, and there's a lot of folks just doing a lot of sensationalism to promote their channel. And I respect that. That's fine. However is, I have to talk to people, and I have to maintain at least a consistent message. And the consistent message needs to be what is the truth of what is going on. And again, that's why it is super important when you're here, make sure that you are, yes, subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you're asking questions, because we go through the same metrics each and every single week for consistency, so that you have the best information available, for when the time is right, so you and your family can make a great decision. Now, here, this next slide is super important as we delve into this. It says, listen to this. Okay, so this is actually from Rick Sharga, who is the EVP at Adam Data. Adam Data is a really great organization. They're like a statistical firm, and they do just a really great job of compiling information, almost like Steve Ballmer's group, Fact USA, which again, shout out to Steve. I think you guys are doing a fabulous job. It's fun to read your metrics and whatnot. I hope you guys keep it up. Super cool. All right. What's the difference between foreclosures today compared to the Great Recession? As he says, and this is what's super important, and we are seeing this. And in fact, sorry about that, some of the books and tape people that we get called on all the time, because for some reason they still think we're stuck back in the 60s as far as inventory and sales and whatnot, which it doesn't even make sense, right? Okay, he says 93% of borrowers who are in foreclosure today have positive equity in their home, unlike where they were in 2008. However, borrowers that are distressed today, okay, basically they kind of get a soft landing because they have this inventory that's available, or this equity, and because we still have a limited inventory, they're able to not only sell their home, get some dollars in their pocket, and then reset the clock and start, not start over again, but get a fresh start. Now, here's what's super important. I have been tracking foreclosures and been working with credit unions, I would say my entire real estate career. In fact, that's how I got into real estate. Credit unions are some of my all-time favorite people to work with, because they care about their members. They're just awesome. And because we are very much relationship built, so are they. And there are some amazing, amazing credit unions out there, and I highly recommend them over the big box banks. I'll tell you, they are well, they're just awesome. That's all I got to say. That's my shout out to credit unions. If you want a list of my top 5, I'll let you know. And some of the credit unions I work with, are we on the list? And you probably are. All right. So get a load of this. So the ones that get to auction, 70% of them are actually selling, which is about twice the amount of homes that get sold at an auction, which is the normal. Okay. And what that means is a property goes down to the courthouse steps, the head down. And literally, it's, if you go down to King County, it is literally between the breezeway of the courthouse. Snohomish, it's out on the steps, right? And they don't say anything. They just go up and they just start reading. And you need to be out there and listening, because not just one trustee shows up, but many trustees will show up, right? But 70%, or twice as many of the homes that do end up going to foreclosure, okay, which is still a very minuscule amount, are getting bought by investors. And so the REO inventory is negligible, especially in our area. Heck, 2012 we had 1,100 homes. At the end of December we had 39. That's peanuts. Okay, so understand our market is doing super well. And if you have any questions, please let us know. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. We're going to increase our frequency. We've been asked to do 2 every single week, not just 1, and make them a little bit shorter. So hopefully this one's shorter. Not really sure. But anyway, like and subscribe. I will see you guys on the next video. Have an absolutely fabulous day, and I'll talk to you later. Take care.